I have here 4 volumes of Sahih al-Bukhari. If you had watched my appearance on the Andrew Bolt show, you would have seen that I had brought one of these volumes and I read from the volume, I referred to one of the volume, to what was written in one of the volumes. And it was very shocking for the nation as to what exactly lies within these books. The ABC Media Watch turned around and said the statements of Imam Tawidhi are plain crazy. Well, I guess they're just proving our point, that indeed what lays within these books and leads to our deaths is plain crazy. The problem is, you do not have access to these books. The problem is, even if you had access to these books, you would not be able to understand the literature within these books. Today, I want you to know what exactly lies within the books that are considered sacred right after the Holy Quran. In every mosque, or in the majority of mosques and the majority of Muslim libraries and schools, the Holy Quran is placed right next to Sahih al-Bukhari. That is because Sahih al-Bukhari interprets the Holy Quran, especially volume 3 from Sahih al-Bukhari that focuses on the Quranic interpretation. It teaches us Muslims how to live our lives, what ethics we need to abide by, and what exactly makes us good human beings. This is the manual that we have. I am saying this book is a book that has led to the deaths of many people. This is a formula of war. This is what has made Islam a religion of war. This is what needs to be banned. When you go to a Muslim bookstore and you say, can you give me a copy of the Bukhari? You would expect to get this, but instead they will give you this. They'll give you one volume that is made up of Arabic and English. They have cherry-picked and selected for you and translated for you what they want you to read from Sahih al-Bukhari. They do not want you to read everything within Sahih al-Bukhari. As you can see, they have titled it Sahih al-Bukhari, the early years of Islam. And they explain and translate. But this is not al-Bukhari. This is a small compilation from what they want you to know about Bukhari. This is the real Bukhari. We who seek knowledge want to know what forms this radical ideology. We want to know what's in the book. Therefore, let's get into it. Muslims go around the world rioting, killing people, because they believe that their Prophet Muhammad has been insulted. The Muslims say that Prophet Muhammad is the best role model. They say that Prophet Muhammad is the best human being and that we should all follow him. And when I say majority, I do not mean 5 to 50%. I mean 95% of the Muslims believe in the Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad portrayed in the Bukhari. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. All books of history refer to the Bukhari. So let's find out, what really is Muhammad like according to the Bukhari, according to the faith of the Grand Mufti, according to the faith of television celebrities that are Muslim in this country. What exactly do these books say? I'll start with volume 1. And I know the techniques of the radicals. These books are a big surprise to them. That now Tawhidi, Imam Tawidhi is now on live showing the West what these books contain. And the Imams, as I speak, do not underestimate this. As I speak, the Imams are contacting each other right now, without a doubt. And they will hold an emergency meeting as to what to do with Imam Tawidhi. Because I know how my community will react. So before they start saying, this is a fake cover and the inside is not the real Bukhari, I'll have to show you up close that this is the Bukhari. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. And this here is volume 1. and I will show you the license of the publication. Just for the record, you can pause the video later on. This was printed in Beirut, Lebanon, and it was printed by the publisher Dar al-Kutub al-Ilmiya. It was printed in 2014, and it is titled Sahih al-Bukhari, The Correct and Authentic Traditions of al-Bukhari, and it contains prophetic hadith. This is volume 1. This is exactly what I was taught. Let me show you why I had to rebel against the school of thought that once upon a time wanted me to be a missionary to the West. So you can understand why these statements are being issued against me, saying I'm a fake. I'm a fake because I left this. We don't need to go too deep into the book. First volume. And let's look at the first 100 pages within the book. Page 45 of this very book, volume 1, and segment 5, it is called Bab al-Takhfifi fi al-Wudu'. It speaks about the purification and purity of oneself before engaging in any form of prayer. Muslims wash themselves 5 times a day, meaning they wash the face, they wash the hands first, then the face, then they come to the 2 arms and wipe on the head, and then they wipe on the feet. This is called the ablution. It's called the wudu'. The wudu'. It's also pronounced wuzu or wudu. It is a must. There is no prayer accepted in Islam without that purification beforehand. They mention the Prophet Muhammad. They themselves, 95% of the Muslims believe in this. They say that the Messenger of God, Muhammad, came to a house, and I will recite in Arabic. ثم اضطجع فنام حتى نفخ. He laid down, slept, and began to snore. ثم أتاه المنادي. Then the caller for prayer, the person who wakes him up for prayer, came to the Prophet Muhammad. And he said to him, it is time to pray. فقام معه إلى الصلاة. Therefore the Prophet Muhammad woke up and went with the person who woke him up to go and pray together. فصلى ولم يتوضأ. And Prophet Muhammad prayed without washing himself, without purifying himself. This shows you that the Prophet, who taught these 95% of the Muslims to wash themselves before praying, he himself does not wash himself. He himself is a hypocrite. And he himself has no prayer that is accepted. This is what they believe in. This is the hypocrisy within the Bukhari. Now we Shia, we don't even believe the Prophet needs wudu to begin with. The Prophet and Imam Ali, they don't need wudu. They are pure. Jesus, Moses, all messengers of God are pure. Yes, Umar ibn al-Khattab needs wudu. Umar ibn al-Khattab, who spread Islam by the sword, he needs wudu. He needs purification. As for a prophet, it doesn't make sense. So number 1 we have here, let's make a list of this, and I advise you to make a list along with me. So we have a prophet who is not pure when praying. If we move to page number 47, segment 14, it says here what is much worse than what we had just listened to. It states that a man by the name of Abdullah bin Umar, he says, فَرَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ يَقْضِي حَاجَتَهِ مُسْتَدْبِرَ الْقِبْلَةِ مُسْتَقْبِلَ الشَّامِ, which means I saw the messenger of God, I saw the apostle of God in public performing his number 1 and number 2 in the middle of the street while facing Sham. Sham basically means Palestine. In another tradition, it says that he was seen مستقبل بيت المقدس. He was seen facing towards Masjid al-Aqsa. Now we have the Palestinians, they're fighting for Masjid al-Aqsa. They're fighting for the Aqsa Mosque in Israel. And here the same Muslims tell us that their Prophet used to do number one and number two facing towards that direction. Deliberately. This is the Prophet you believe in. And this is the Bakri version of the Prophet. This is the Umari version. And a Prophet from God in the middle of the street, doing number one, number two, for everyone to see him. And it gets reported in history after 1,400 years. And you're proud? You're proud to be following such a Prophet? If we come down to page 62, we're still within the first 100 pages. We're still within the first 100 pages. Page number 62. It states, أتى النبي, the Prophet came, فبال قائما, ثم دعا بماء, فجئته بماء فتوضأ. Which basically means, Prophet Muhammad came, and he urinated while standing up. He wanted water, we got him water. Then he performed ablution, he performed the wudu in order to pray. The problem is in Australian media, the radical preachers in Sydney tell me and you that if you stand when you urinate, you are doing an act that is like the act of animals. That's what they say. They say only animals stand and urinate. And here the very Prophet stands and urinates. I will show you. I'm not here making things up here. All highlighted in yellow for you. I'll bring it up to the camera. That the Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, urinated when standing. Which means he's a hypocrite. And he has no ethics, according to the Bukhari. And I would love for the Grand Mufti, and I would love for Brother Walid Ali, Dr. Walid Ali, Sister Linda Sarsour, to come and defend their Prophet. This is your book. Either you denounce the book or you denounce the Prophet. Which one is it? So now we have a Prophet who urinates when standing like an animal. Like an animal. And we have number one and number two in public. This is the book that forms Sharia law. Let's read what's in this book. Come to page 72 of volume 1 of Sahih al-Bukhari. This one here is worse. Yani, as you go deeper into the book, the worse it gets for you. It states here, كان النبي يدور على نسائه في الساعة الواحدة من الليل والنهار وهن 11. قال قلت لأنس أو كان يطيقه؟ قال كنا نتحدث أنه أعطي قوة 30. What does this mean? It means that the Prophet Muhammad used to visit all of his wives, and they were 11, and he would engage with them all in sexual intimacy. And he would do that during the day and during the night. And all 11 of them. And he wouldn't wash himself. He would not wash himself between each wife. So the person who narrated this report, he said, is this true? That Prophet Muhammad has the ability to satisfy 11 women? Here it says, he was given the power of 30 men. Yeah, Bukhari, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? When you read this is the Prophet Muhammad that we were taught. I didn't bring this from Jupiter. This is the book for the greatest scholar in Islam after the Quran, according to 95% of the Muslims. I didn't make this up. It's in the Bukhari. I'm more than happy to bring this on any platform and we'll debate about it. This is very sad. Very sad.